So we're going to call the annual meeting of the National Continuing Care Residents Association to order. And before we begin, I would appreciate it if you would be upstanding, and we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And our Vice President for Membership, who is also a wonderful friend and a member of the clergy, will offer our opening prayer, please.
As our President-elect has said to me many times, Bob, take a deep breath. And it's important to, as the Quakers at Penn would say, center ourselves after travel and agendas and contact lists and what I forgot in my apartment. So let's take just a moment of silence and then we will pray together. Creator of us all, you are the holder of memory and hope. We turn to you now in thanksgiving as we open our meeting. For a history that enriches us, for safe travels that brought us here, for these colleagues and friends around us, for the important work that is before us, for a hope that is within us, for a love that upholds us, and for a vision that compels us to give the best we have to bless and benefit the cause of the residents we have come here to serve. We offer ourselves. We offer our prayers in the spirit of the one whose way is wisdom and peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bob. And you all want to find a seat back there or up here or whatever. Anyway, we just for your information, we are not going to take a formal break. So if you need to go powder your nose or whatever you need to do, please just get up and go. And I know there are indications of where our bathrooms are, where the water is, and this sort of thing. So just feel free to get up and do what you need to do. And I bid you all good morning. I'm Ruth Holland Walsh, president of NaCCRA, and also a very proud resident of Stone Ridge. And this is my home base, and I'm so delighted to welcome you all home. I've been a resident of Stone Ridge for some 9 years now, having moved from my former home, which was about a quarter of a mile over that way, and overlooking the wonder of the Mystic Seaport. I'm delighted to welcome you, and I know that you're going to have a few superb days here. If you are a visitor to Stonington and to Mystic, I urge you to go past the Denison Homestead, and we'll give you directions to where it is. It's about maybe a mile from here, but it is filled with the most magnificent daffodils you ever did see. So you just have to see the beauty. Our trees have not yet done what they're supposed to do, but we just did have a wild winter, and but the daffodils are out. And if you see there are people from Stone Ridge who are volunteer guides or what have you, if you need anything from a piece of Kleenex to directions to anywhere, they're here, and they have a little green ribbon on their name tag so you can find them. And so please feel free. The green folders that you received here have a map of Stone Ridge as well as Mystic and environment. For your pleasure, there's also our agenda for the next few days, and hope that you have a very fruitful and wonderful visit here. Just for a moment, will you please stand if you are from communities other than Stone Ridge? So that's wonderful. And very briefly, where you all are from? Florida?
New York.
Virginia, Connecticut.
Right? The highs?
Virginia.
Washington, D.C.
Connecticut.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Florida.
California.
California.
Connecticut, 3 Connecticut's.
North Carolina.
Washington State,
Good.
home of
Were
the
you?
Super Bowl.
And Ruth, how many residents do you have at Stonington?
Pardon?
How many residents are there at Stonington?
Stone Ridge.
Stone Ridge.
Stone Ridge, I mean.
At Stone Ridge, there are circa
Around 300.
300 residents here.
Oh, okay.
All right, we know that there are no strangers in NaCCRA, so please feel free to talk among yourself at any break or anything of that sort for luncheon. And I deliberately did this so that we will all talk to one another. We on the board know one another, but we need to know you too. And back in the back is, standing there with his necktie on and looking around, is Matthew Hout, who is the Director of Culinary Services here at Stone Ridge. And he is, and his team, and they're a wonderful team, are responsible for our lovely meals and for breaks and this sort of thing. So, hey, Matthew.
Good job.
So, you know, I'm sure you know that Stone Ridge is very close to the Mystic Seaport, Mystic Aquarium, if you've been down that way, the Coast Guard Academy in New London, the submarine base, and so we do have many former or retired Navy and one Army person. That's me. But we're all here, and I hope that you'll be able to take a portion of your time here with us to just take a look around Connecticut and this part of eastern Connecticut. Our Stone Ridge community is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and it was built, if you notice, there's a house over on the side that's kind of bedraggled and very, very tired. But this was part of the Perkins farm, and there was a huge dairy farm. So where we are right now is the grazing land for Mr. Perkins's cattle. And they used to come over and have a joyful delight here, and now here we are in that property, and we're also having a delightful time of it on that property. We have 32 acres, nestled close to walking trails, and as I said, the Denison Homestead is down there, and I do hope you can get a chance to see that. We also have woods around us, and most of it's protected land, so that we see a deer, or many deer. We have Mr. and Mrs. Turkey and their brood are here, and all kinds of wonderful birds. So it's a joyful place. So we're in the town, but we're kind of nestled with woods all around us, and we enjoy that. I'm sure that you've noticed the stone fences that are here, and they have abounded in eastern Connecticut and all throughout Connecticut. And perhaps I'll bring to mind the poem by Robert Frost about the mending walls. Stone Ridge is home to 270 independent apartments, plus our health center, our memory cottage, and it's a bustling community. And the expansive campus also boasts ponds, walking trails, and this sort of thing. So we're really proud of our home and the active community it is, and a very active residence council. Before we get underway, I would like to introduce our meeting coordinators, if there's here, yes, and Ellen Barber and Elaine Malin. If you just step forward so we can see you. And there's Ellen. And both have just done yeoman service here. And they and their committees have worked small miracles these past few weeks, getting us all set. In the back, at the doorway, is Brian Wilson, who is also the Director of Maintenance and whatever else, jack of all trades, and he will be here on hand to be sure all of our presentations go off on schedule. So thank you so much. Though the agenda is very full, we're going to just get right underway. And there are a few people that have asked to bid you greetings from our town and from our locale. Ed Habrick is our first selectman in the town of Stonington. It was he who kept us all up to date on his Facebook not too many months ago, when we had a fantastic flood, and when we've had ice storms and what have you. So Ed is a good friend to all of us, and we'd just like for him to extend greetings.
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome. Just for those that are not from the area, just to let you know, First Selectman is kind of like the mayor. So I end up being the person when the trees are down or the potholes out there that they call and make sure that it's taken care of. I want to first say that it's a joy to be here when there's good weather outside, because usually up here when there's either an ice storm, the power outages, or whether we're dealing with some kind of a hurricane that's impending on our area. So it's great to be here on the nice weather. I also am available next year's, I think, in Nashville, so I'm more than happy to go there with you also. So I can be a traveling companion, and be able to go out that area. But I want to welcome all of you who are from other communities to Mystic. Mystic is a part of the town of Stonington. We always joke that we have the good side of Mystic on the river because we have the aquarium and the seaport and the beautiful downtown. So we feel very, very blessed, and we're very excited about it. I'm very proud of Stone Ridge community. I'm one who's pretty much a tremendous advocate and have a great deal of passion for supportive living and independent living. I think it's critical for our community. We're very, very blessed because we do have Stone Ridge here. We also have several nursing homes close by available. We're going to be also announcing a complimentary facility that's going to be coming to our area next week, actually, right next to the preserved Coogan Farm, which is another beautiful location if you get a chance to take a look. I really think that we're very, very lucky that we have so many great opportunities around in our area. We have a lot of learning area, we have a lot of civic tourism, we have a lot of history in our place. So you can wander the beautiful New England cobblestone streets down in Stonington Borough. You can be able to take in some of the great work that's done at the aquarium and the seaport, seeing some of our New England history. And you can also, as Ruth so greatly said, walk some of our fine trails that are just taking in some of the great nature that we have in our area. So we're very, very blessed. Along with that, we have an excellent complement of cutting-edge opportunities. We have a brand new company that came to town 2 years ago, NaCCRA Corporation, a cutting-edge engineering company that's provided 180 jobs to our area. So, and we've had tremendous schools that have done great intergenerational opportunities right here in Stone Ridge, having them come do concerts and also work with a lot of seniors and working in teaching opportunities. So I think that really complements and provides a great opportunity for our area. Also, I think that the opportunities to have these independent living areas provides the opportunity to bring talent and knowledge to the area. It's amazing how many individuals that live here and live within the community are on our boards and commissions, helping making decisions in our community, and provide the vast amount of knowledge that comes from individuals who have retired and maybe former CEOs or former financial individuals that can help us. So we were able to keep the wonderful, wonderful community together in all those areas. So again, I want to welcome you to our beautiful town, our city, and our area, and I ask you to please feel free to take part in it, spend as much as you want. We always love to increase our tax base, but enjoy yourself here. And again, this is a very, very important association. This is a huge, as will be discussed earlier today, the quote is a senior industry, but the senior living industry is a very, very important element. We all like to be able to age generationally and be able to have continuing care. And again, it's up to associations and organizations like Stone Ridge to be able to provide this optimum care. And it's for us, as elected leaders and individuals and legislative responsibilities, to be able to support that and make sure that we're here to provide the optimum availability. So again, I'm a true believer in this, and again, welcome you to the area. And I want to especially thank Ruth for the terrific work she did in planning this, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, and please stay as long as you can. We'd also like to introduce Georgia Erickson, who is president of the Connecticut group. There are 17 CCRCs in the state of Connecticut. 17 or 16 of whom are members of NaCCRA. And NaCCRA will be meeting here next month. So Georgia is a dynamite president from Ashler Village, which is in Wallingford.
Thank you, Ruth. On behalf of all of the members of NaCCRA, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the State of the National Basketball Champions. Needless to say, we are all exceptionally proud of our Yukon Huskies and proud to be from Connecticut right now. And we are pleased that NaCCRA has chosen Connecticut for your convention. We are so fortunate that your national president is from Connecticut and is a former NaCCRA president. We have been able to work closely with Ruth and have been kept abreast of the activities of NaCCRA. According to my report, I'm going to say there are 16 CCRCs in Connecticut, and they are all active members of NaCCRA. The full organization meets twice yearly, each time at a different facility, and we have a special president's meeting prior to each regular meeting. Our next meeting is May 15th, right here at Stone Ridge. So I welcome everyone who is able to attend. We have a close relationship with Leading Age and the advisory committee to the Commissioner of Social Services, which oversees the Connecticut CCRCs. One issue that was recently brought to NaCCRA was financial fairness. After lengthy discussions, it was decided to send a letter to the advisory committee stating our concerns. They have been discussing it and will report back to us after their next meeting, which unfortunately happens to be the day after our next meeting. Another item of concern has been the speed at which people using motorized scooters travel in the hallways. It was decided that each facility needs to handle the problem individually. And we were given the impression that it's kind of a universal problem, not just at Ashler Village. Our next issue will be to work toward establishing a Bill of Rights for CCRC residents, such as they have in New Jersey. We also encourage all of our members to join NaCCRA, especially to receive the Lifeline newsletter, which always contains such interesting and informative articles. And I'm delighted that I've had a chance to meet Marlene this morning, who does such a wonderful job on that. So you can see that NaCCRA is an active organization, always working for the safety and best interests of all CCRC residents in Connecticut. And again, I welcome you to Connecticut, and I wish you much success in your meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. Arnie Johnson and I are one of the early residents of Stone Ridge, and Arnie was very instrumental, as I was, also in working on our bill of our bylaws, our protocols, and so Arnie is now our chairman of our residence council. He'd like to bid you welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to welcome you all here. But let me say a couple more words about Ruth. Yeah, we started out together when this place first opened up. Ruth was the chairman of our bylaws committee. She was the secretary for the first 3 years of our council. Then she went from there to the NaCCRA leadership.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, and after that, the NaCCRA leadership, and now she's finishing up a 3-year tour. I tell you all of this because all of that experience is not going to get locked up in Ruth's apartment after she gets relieved tomorrow. We elected her back to the council a month or so ago, and 2 days ago we made her the vice chairman. So she's going to weigh in heavily on your proceedings here in the near future after she's taken a little bit of a sabbatical and a rest, which she so much deserves. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And then I did want Yvette to offer you greetings. She has served as well as our interim executive director and CEO. She's eagerly awaiting the arrival of our new CEO, and who will come on duty toward the end of this month. And he hails from Georgia, but I think he's a Connecticut resident initially. So he said, "I'm coming home," and so we're looking forward to him. But I would like you to meet Yvette.
Good morning. On behalf of Stone Ridge, we would like to welcome you all to our community. We are very honored to be able to sponsor this event, and we are proud of our residents and their spirit, and work to ensure that they all have the highest quality of life while they live here, mirroring many of your mission statements and ideas. Much time and effort has been put forth in the planning of this event, and we hope that you will find it enjoyable. We have a few housekeeping things to deal with. Just so you all know, if the fire alarm, hopefully that won't go off, but if it does go off, our exits are in the front and the back of the auditorium here, and they lead directly outside. Our bathrooms, which you would have passed on the way in, are left out of the auditorium and then almost an immediate left by the coat rack. We are a non-smoking building, generally. That means there's no smoking in the bathroom. However, we did provide an area for those of you that smoke to go to. So if you go out of the auditorium, there are signage right directly across. Just follow those arrows, and a few feet down the hall and to the right, you would be let outside if you need to smoke. We have volunteers who have green ribbons, as Mrs. Walsh said. They will answer any questions that you have, so find one if you do have any questions. We also, if any of you are interested in a tour at the end of the meeting at 4:30, we have Sean Drew, who was in our marketing department, who is willing to give tours, and he will meet you at 4:30 at the reception desk. And last but certainly not least, you know, these events just don't magically happen. There's a lot of planning and time and effort into organizing stuff so it's smooth. Even the easiest things that seem rote take a lot of planning and integration. This is a large event, a national event. So we want to thank and have a round of applause for Ruth Walsh, Elaine Mayland, and Ellen Barker, and of course the volunteers. But those are the core committee members that spent a lot of time and effort planning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as we said, both Elaine and Ellen have put in very, very difficult, not difficult, but it's coordination to get all this to happen. So if you do have questions, please ask them. And I really quickly would like just to introduce to you the members of the Board of Directors of NaCCRA. President, I'm the outgoing president, so at the end of this meeting on tomorrow afternoon, I will become the immediate past president, but I would like you to meet the immediate past president currently, whose name is Jack Matheson, who hails from residents of Thomas Circle in Washington, D.C. Our president-elect is Dan Seeger, who is from Pennswood Village in Pennsylvania, Newtown, Pennsylvania. Our secretary and also the director of research and also the coordinator of NaCCRA, which you're going to hear a little bit more about, is our secretary, and he hails from, where are you from? Carlsbad by the Sea in California. Our treasurer is Joe Walton, who is a member of the Seabury CCRC in Bloomfield. And then the other members of the board, the Vice President for Membership and also our chaplain is Bob Nicholson.
No applause, no applause. The only appreciation I need from each of you to recruit 5 new members. Thank you.
And you can also see his whole thrust is membership and increasing our membership throughout. Members at large, Charlie Polk, who is one of the early members of NaCCRA, who could not be with us. He has some terribly difficult physical issues, and the doctor said you will not travel. So he extends his best wishes to every single one of us, and he is really a real wonderful gentleman with a very nice drawl and he's from Florida. And Charlie sends his greetings. And also, Judy Moss is coming to us from Janning House in California, from Palo Alto. There she is. Walt Boyer is from Deerfield Community in North Carolina. There he is. Marlene Varner, also from Deerfield in North Carolina, and it is she who is editor-in-chief and our communications director for NaCCRA. She is responsible for the excellence of Lifeline, and Lifeline indeed is our lifeline. And also, on top of everything else, she is also an income tax consultant, and so I'm sure these last few days before the 15th of April, her clients are waiting for her to come back quickly. So these are the members of the board. We will be electing new members of the board this afternoon, and we're trying to work a good cycle so that there's new people and people are more experienced, but that cycle will continue. You know, we were blessed to have such a wonderful group of people, and we're going to hear more about that and their duties later on. We were founded as an organization back, I'm going to say, in 1997, and Bob Nagel, who comes to us from Stanford, and where are you, Bob? There you are.
Edge Hill.
Edge Hill and Stanford, but he was one of the early members of NaCCRA and has been on the board of directors of NaCCRA, so he's responsible for many good things, including the bed tax that they used to charge for people at CCRCs here in Connecticut, and people all got together, they worked together, and they had that excluded. Is that right, Bob?
Yes.
And it was the work of volunteers such as Bob and early NaCCRA members that happened. We boast about 1,277 members throughout the United States. We have 9 state associations, 36 community organizations, and individual members, including 268 life members, and I know many life members are sitting in this congregation today, and we are so proud, and we thank you for your votes of confidence. There's still a lot to accomplish, and so we are just hard at work. We're work in progress, and I think that's what's very exciting. And we're moving forward to gather and to put together a really firm organizational structure, and our mission to fully prosecute, I cannot see with this, I'm sorry, my light. We're to promote, protect, and improve the chosen lifestyle of those of us who live in CCRCs. We know that our ultimate goal is to encompass all of the CCRCs within the United States, within the 50 states, and there are some 2,000 of those. So we're working, as I say, a work in progress, one at a time. We're going to do this, and our work is on our to-do list. Building the future together for NaCCRA. It is our vision to be an advocate and resource providing valued services, education, and benefits to a growing and diverse population in the United States. It's interesting, initially, CCRCs were colonized by members of the silent generation, which encompassed those who were born in the era of the Great Depression and World War II, and all of those were all classified as the greatest generation. Early residents were very conservative, more attached to institutions, relatively trusting of one another, and you know times have changed. Not too many years ago, computers were that newfangled gadget that the early computers encompass a whole room. And now here we are carrying our computers with us Cell phones allow us to talk to family and friends from near and far. My family just went to Barbados yesterday, and they called, or what do you call it, iPad it or whatever, to say they had arrived safely. Not too long ago, it would have cost many dollars to call to say I have arrived. We know that there are multiple uses of iPhones and more, and we are awaiting the next generation to join the ranks of CCRCs, and they are known as the baby boomers. And we have had a few coming here at Stone Ridge, for which we are delighted. The advent of baby boomers and CCRCs are those who are very adept at using computers, social media, Skype, Twitters, Facebook, and things that I have not a clue what it all entails, but we're learning. And they're frightening concepts for some of the uninitiated, so we work together, and Brian has a wonderful workshop downstairs to help us all if we have computer problems or we can't get things to work. We have had to call our grandchildren often to find out where what we lost has been found. Who would have ever expected that one could utilize the phone as a camera, for goodness sake? When I first saw that and they were taking a picture with the cameras, what are they doing? And now that's old hat. So we've come a long way, and we have a long way to go. And we're trying to keep up with all of those newfangled gadgets. Skype permits us to take a look at friends and family throughout the entire world. And soon we're going to meet the younger prospective CCRCs who have come to be known as the millennial generation. And that's really something. Research defines this population is much more liberal than those who came before, and they take a far different view of life, culture, and those who are classed as conservatives, or squares, as my family says. The influence of millennials is growing by leaps and bounds in both political and social arena, in our communities, in our individual states, in the United States, and in the world. So we're all going to come to be able to accommodate that. Indeed, this generation is the most diverse and technologically adept generation in American history, and we will be having those members as future members of CCRCs, and we're going to adapt to their special needs. In a word, it's clear that we must be diligent in our efforts to be thorough and flexible in all areas of the CCRC world, including financial transparencies, the passage of legislation that will protect the rights of all individuals, of our residents, while at the same time allowing for flexibility in our organizational structure that will assist us in planning a realistic strategy as we work to build the future together for those of us who are residents of CCRCs. And our work is indeed cut out for us.